I don't think I'm even over-exaggerating here when I say if I saw Bournemouth with Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans as a centre-back partnership, I would legitimately be saying I don't think that's good enough to keep him in the Premier League. But Manchester United, let me say that again, Manchester United on the first week of September, the fourth game of the bloody season, are ending a game against Arsenal away with Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire as a centre-back partnership. Now we obviously know that the lack of investment from the Glazers is the main reason why this has occurred, but we can't keep blaming the Glazers all the time. They are the problem, but we're not really going to be able to do anything. But I think this has to come down to Ten Hag. First and foremost, why are you giving a contract to Johnny Evans? I mean, when he got the 1-year contract, I assumed it would be something like a coaching role, that he would maybe play in a Carabao Cup or something. But the likelihood of us seeing him in a Premier League game I thought would be fairly low. I didn't think on the fourth game of the season that Johnny Evans would be coming on alongside Harry Maguire. I mean, when I saw that, I think we just deserved to lose the game there at that point. But before I go any further, remember to subscribe to the channel and check out my Patreon podcast, which will be linked below. But also, if you want cheap, good quality football jerseys for the new season, or retro jerseys from the past 40 years, then check out jerseyfifa.com, a link will be in my Instagram bio, and if you use coupon code Atlantis, you should get a discount as well. I'll leave my Instagram at the top of the description and comment section, and a link will be in my Instagram bio. And that's not even coming on to Harry Maguire. I mean, obviously, he should have been sold in the summer. He was the one that decided not to leave. But I'm blaming Ten Hag for this. Ten Hag should have told Harry Maguire that if he doesn't leave for West Ham, he will not be playing a game at all season. That he'll be in the reserves and it will scupper his chances of going to the Euros at the end of the season. Ten Hag can't have told Harry Maguire that, because the first game after the transfer window, not only is he on the bench, but he's one of the first players to come off the bench as well. Also, of all the positions we needed an emergency loan in, the left-back position seems like the one we didn't need a loan in. First of all, we had Alvaro Fernandez, who has gone on loan now. I thought he should have just been given a chance. But in the first game that Reguilón was available, where Malacia and Shaw are both out, Dalot is starting there. And to be honest, I think Dalot's probably a better option at left-back than Sergio Reguilón. He was absolutely fantastic defensively against Saka. So in the games going forward, is Reguilón really going to start? Probably not. And so to put it bluntly, we've basically wasted what essentially is an emergency loan on a position where we're basically stocked in. Malacia and Shaw are not injured for the whole season. They're going to come back. We already had Alvaro Fernandez, and even though he's gone on loan, we still got Dalot, who's probably going to start ahead of Reguilón. And of course you can blame the lack of funding, why Ten Hag wasn't able to sign a centre-back, Maguire didn't go, whatever. But when you've got players like Sergio Ramos and Leonardo Bonucci, who's gone on a free to Union Berlin, who were available, why is Johnny Evans, who I'm saying is a championship player, if he had been signed 3 seasons ago, he probably wouldn't have even been good enough to be a fourth choice centre-back for United. He doesn't fit the style at all. He's not a ball-playing centre-back. And at this point in his career, he's 35 years old. How he has been signed by United on a 1-year contract, I have to blame Ten Hag for this. Because regardless of the funds that have been made available to him, the players he has decided to bring in for what he's been given, is absolutely diabolical. Now you could say he was unlucky with Varane getting injured and Lisandro Martinez obviously getting injured during this game, but is it a surprise that Varane's injured? He is probably one of the most injury prone players in the whole league, so going into the season and not figuring that he would eventually get injured, which he did before the transfer window even closed, is probably one of the biggest miscalculations I've ever seen from a United manager. At this point in time, we don't know how long Lisandro Martinez is going to be unavailable for, but Lindelof is definitely going to be the starting centre-back, so that means one of Evans or Maguire is going to be a starting centre-back for United over the next few weeks. Now obviously Ten Hag is nowhere near the biggest problem at United, not even close. And honestly, I don't think there is another manager in world football who could get United competing for the title. I just think the way the club is run, particularly the transfers, selling players, just everything about it, breeds this kind of negative energy that just encompasses everything from the players, the managers. But we already know that, and we have to work with what we have. And Ten Hag, despite an exceptional season last year where he really overperformed considering what was given to him, particularly in the January transfer window with Weghorst and Sabitzer, the only 2 signings that came in, you have to say that recently he's been making bad decision after bad decision. I know he's not totally in control of transfers, but ultimately it was his decision to spend a third of the budget on Mason Mount, knowing that the budget for other positions was not going to be there later on in the summer. It was also his decision to send Alvaro Fernandez out on loan and bring in Sergio Reguilón, despite Diego Dalot probably being the better option at left back. And even though it was clear that he did want to get rid of Harry Maguire, Considering his treatment of Ronaldo last season when he wanted him out of the club and everyone congratulated him for being ruthless, he has to have the same energy with Harry Maguire. Ronaldo was without doubt United's best player in the 21-22 season, whereas Harry Maguire is a complete liability. Not only is he a complete liability, but just everything surrounding him is an absolute shambles. But what could Ten Hag do? Maguire's on £200,000 a week. I don't care. Maguire should not be playing for United. Tendon Mengi recently went to Luton Town. I would rather have him in the starting 11 than Harry Maguire, as even though Mengi's probably not United standard, or should I say definitely not United standard, to me the whole thing around Harry Maguire is more about principle. He single-handedly basically led to United up the transfer window, because if he was sold to West Ham for £30 million, yes, £30 million, United could have, or should I say would have, brought in Benjamin Pavard, who would have solved a lot of issues, not just in terms of the system, but also just improving the overall personnel of the squad. Not just being an upgrade on both Wan-Bissaka and Dalot at right back, but also providing the cover for Raphael Varane, which in this game we desperately needed, considering both Maguire and Evans finished the game as a starting centre-back pairing. If Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be completely thrown out of the squad, which I'm not saying I'm completely against, it's well within Ten Hag's right to do so, but if he's going to be ruthless with Cristiano Ronaldo, he better be just as ruthless with Harry Maguire. And I know a lot of neutrals, or maybe even some United fans, will say that I'm being too harsh on Maguire. I'm not. He is, I can't describe the decline in a player as much as Maguire. Maybe Dele Alli, but there are other circumstances around that. But if I was any other Premier League club, I wouldn't have Harry Maguire. A lot of people will disagree with that, but I just don't think he's a good defender at all, even in possession, which is meant to be his strong point. I'm watching him today against Arsenal. He looks like he's playing with ankle weights, just taking so long on the ball just to get it out of his feet. There were a number of times where he took so long he got closed down and just hoofed the ball down the line, completely giving away possession. And the worst part about it is that he finished the game as United's best centre-back because Johnny Evans was on the pitch. And let's be honest, Johnny Evans probably wasn't good enough for United back when he left in 2014, 2015, let alone in 2023. I mean, at the moment, Sergio Ramos is still a free agent. Apparently he's in talks with Sevilla. United, I can't watch Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire, not even together, just on the pitch at all. I mean, it's bad enough having one of them at centre-back. And luckily Lindelof is still there. However, if Lisandro Martinez is out for a sustained period, Jesus Christ, you just know at some point it's going to be Maguire and Johnny Evans starting. And I honestly think I will not even be able to stomach watching that match if it does happen. But surely Raphael Varane, Casemiro, someone, give Sergio Ramos a call. Because it genuinely seems like this is a whole social experiment. I mean, imagine at the start of the summer, if someone had told you that we would finish a away match against Arsenal, and this is not in November, this is not in January or February when things are getting really tight. The first week after the transfer window, the fourth game of the season, if someone had told you Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire would be finishing the game as a centre-back pairing, I mean, you would have laughed because you would have said, look, it's bad, but that is just like peak comedy. I mean, I'm beyond like just getting mad about it. It's kind of funny now that if Lindelof gets injured, that will genuinely be our centre-back pairing. So let me know whether you think Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire will be enough to get us top 4, or maybe they can even spur us on for a title challenge. Let me know in the comment section below, and check out the description for more videos as well.